Happy New Year. Hello, it is 2026 and I'm sure everyone is writing their goals, writing what they want to do, what they want to achieve this year. And I kind of want to share you my method. I'm going to share you some things that I do and how I'm going to tackle that. So you guys kind of have like a clear mind, because it might be overwhelming to write goals. And sometimes some people feel that, oh, because it's now like the end of the first week of January and I didn't set everything up, I'm gonna push it away. But no, like you have this whole year, like this year just started, you have a clean slate. So you really, if you really want to have goals and you really want to achieve them, I think stay tuned watching and I will share you my tips and how I'm gonna get there. So like a lot of the goals in 2026 are similar to the past few years. Everyone would say, I want to go to the gym, I want to get a six-figure job, I want to find a loving partner, I want to move out, get a car, get a house, I want to travel to a different country or state. But how do we make it achievable, right? You know, people have the idea, like I said earlier, where if they miss a day, it's like over. But my thing is, you know, if you miss a day, get up the next day and try it again. And that remember that habits usually take around 30 days to become part of your routine. So yes, if you miss a day in the gym, it's not game over. Don't not go to the gym for the rest of the week and wait till next week to try. The next day, just go to the gym. That is a very simple situation. But I'm gonna share you what I do, you know, like my rundown and what I'm doing to make myself accountable. So I'm not gonna share you everything that's on my 2026 goals. Maybe that will be next year thing where I break it down and run it down with you, everything. Just like my 2025 goal video that just came out. But I'm gonna share you a few things. And the topics I'm gonna share is physical health, love, and travel, right? So I'm gonna break it down so you don't feel lonely or very stressed out. And I want to let people know that sometimes it's really hard to sit still and be with themselves and ask themselves what they really want and what they really want to achieve. So I'm just trying to make it as less daunting as it is. And it's actually really fun. You know, like you can also do it with your friends as well. I have a couple of my friends who do like a poster together and all that jazz. I also want to say that I started at around like 4 p.m. and I took some breaks, you know, watched my YouTube videos, hang out with my family and friends, and I ended up finishing around 10:30 p.m. But I gave myself the whole day to sit down and write what I want to achieve, how I'm going to achieve it, and everything of that sort. And I want to say, you might see a lot of videos and a lot of people use a lot of different apps, like Notion, Google Drive, pen to paper even, Microsoft Word. And I'm going to say, use whatever that makes you comfortable. Like for me, I tried to use Notion a lot last year and it didn't really work because that's just a software that I don't have that much skills in, but I used Canva because I realized in 2025 I just wrote down everything. I'm a little bit more visual and more color, so I moved to like a PowerPoint of what I want to achieve in 2026. So you can use Microsoft PowerPoint and everything of that sort, but just do something that you're comfortable with. There was a year where I just did pen to paper, just like journaling. So let's start it first. As I'm gonna put this over here. So the first thing is you need to break it down. And like I show you, this is everything that I talk about, but we're gonna dive deep in 3 of them, which is physical health, love, and travel. And like I said earlier, take some time on it. Like you don't have to do it in one day, in 1 hour, maybe this week, whenever you have time to spend some time with yourself and write down what you want and, you know, all that jazz. And something that people feel really daunting is like putting everything to a 1-year goal. So let's say for physical health, I have physical health, but I break it down more. Like, yes, I want a nice butt and I want abs, I want my arms, I want to be able to run like a certain amount of mileage without like heavy breathing. But I'm gonna break it down in 90 days. So like in 90 days, I'm gonna do X amount of squats, X amount of push-ups, X amount of pull-ups, X amount of running per week, and everything like that. So it's more digestible. So you see it will be January, February, and March. March doesn't seem as far compared to, let's say, looking at October, November. That seems much more foggy because you don't even know where you're going to be in October, November. You don't even know if you have your job now. You don't even know if you're going to get a promotion. That just seems so far. But in March, seems a little bit more daunting. And you can predict more, like when you break everything down to smaller steps, like the overall goal for me, example, like let's get abs. If I keep doing these 100 plus crunches, you know, in different ways and every day, and I'm doing it, like I'm holding myself accountable just from January to March, I will get to the abs that I want, you know? And this is just to hold yourself accountability. You know, it is intentional. Like March, February, and January, like the next 3 months doesn't seem as very hard to do. And like I said, it takes 30 days at least to build a habit. So then you'll get used to doing these crunches every morning and, you know, doing all these push-ups in the morning. So you hold yourself accountable. It doesn't seem as daunting, and, you know, less chance to slack off because you're like, oh shoot, like if I want to do, like complete this amount of like workouts by the end of March, if I miss one day, like, oh, that's okay. Like, you know, if I'm aiming for 90 days of workout, like, and I do 89, I feel like I still achieve something, versus just like, oh, I miss one out of 365 days. It's a little different. Next thing I want to talk about is love, right? You know, some people want a man. I know a lot of my friends are looking for love, and I know a lot of my friends who are literally getting married or engaged coming up next couple of years. But I want to say, it's okay. You want a man, you want your cookie sponge, and you want to eat their cookie too, right? You want someone. So we're gonna talk a little bit about my love life. But this year, I'm also focusing a little bit on myself and also figuring out what I'm looking for in a relationship, right? You know, what are my non-negotiables? What are my thing? But how am I gonna get there, right? You know, you just saw my ass just got broken up, right? So I'm not ready but what am I gonna do to get myself ready, right? So I break it down, maybe January and March, I'm just gonna really focus on myself. And what does that mean? So I'm defining what are my non-negotiables before I go back to dating. You know, what is my definition of what a true love is? What do I want, my pros and cons, you know, things like that. And put myself in the best situation. Like I'm working out, make sure you're at the best ability as you can before I date. And I think I would most likely be opening, if I'm working on myself, especially for love, you know, then I will be ready maybe in April and May, you know. And how do I hold myself accountable for that? See, like this is 90 days. 90 days to focus on yourself seems much better than spending 365 days of focusing on yourself. But if you like break it down, like actual digestible task, such as, you know, writing down what I want in a relationship, you know, and you can be as specific as you can. Like I know someone said, I want someone who has a salary. I want someone who's taller than me. I think I saw a video, someone said they want their men's hand to not be sweaty when they hold hands. That's specific, but you can also focus on like your non-negotiables, saying like, you know, I want someone who prioritizes me when it comes to huge family conflicts and dynamics, or I want someone to remember things about me. So like, for example, you know, I'm having a hard day and they know that I like bubble tea, you know, they take us out to bubble tea. So just things like that. I think doing these things will help me get ready to date again, or open my heart out at least to meet people. So yeah, so that's just about love. Third thing is that we're gonna talk about is traveling. I think everyone wants to travel every single year. I think everyone writes down, I want to do this, I want to go this, I want to go to Japan. I'm pretty sure everyone in their 20s are trying to go to Japan. And as I'm saying this, I am heading to Japan, but I'm heading for work, so it's a little different than going for vacation, but I'm also going for vacation. What am I talking about? You know, think of a place that you want to go to. Let's say, I'm going to use an example of Ireland, right? I want to go to Ireland, and I want to go when it's spring and summer, when the weather is nice, for an example, right? So for my 90 days, I would try to find ways to save money for this trip. And that would mean maybe if I put $250 out of my paycheck towards this Ireland funding trip, I will be able to afford the ticket, and I will be able to afford the hotels. And then the next 90 days, I'm gonna look at hotels and airplane flights to see, like, gauge what is the amount of pricing. Maybe, for example, turning on Google Flights to track the prices, so you can remind yourself, in the next 3 months, I want to purchase these tickets to Ireland, and I want to make sure that it's the best prices possible, right? And then I'm saving that $250 that I can use to get that flight. And I'm also going to look at hotel prices. So then also look at experience or attractions. So you're getting towards the traveling to Ireland, but how you're doing that financially is you're making that list and you're checking it twice, right? So, and also see if you need a visa. Yeah, like those are just things to get to that goal that you want. See, like the end goal is Ireland, how I'm gonna get to that, saving money, looking at places, budgeting, all that jazz. I don't want to keep this video long, but those are just some of my goals of 2026. I hope this motivates you to make some goals. I know I have friends that they don't have goals, they're just gonna fly by, but if you want to have goals like me and you want to achieve those goals, I think it's also nice to have something to look forward to. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon. I have so many videos because that's one of my goals. Post a lot of videos. Bye everyone.